Hello friends, I welcome you all to my channel. In this video, this is part 2 video on the series of videos about the module os.path, which is about common path name manipulations. This module contains multiple functions that will be very useful for manipulating path names for Unix and Windows like operating system. In the part 1 video, if you have not watched that video, I highly suggest that you watch that video also. In part 1, I discussed about the two functions expand var and expand user. In this video, I will discuss about the two functions split and split extension, that is split ext. These two functions are primarily used to manipulate a path. Given a path, it extracts the file name or the last component of a path, which could be a file name or a directory. That is done by the function split. And split extension, it extracts the extension from a file path, and also it gives the everything else of the path. So this video is part of the playlist Python Beginners Daily Dose, where I try to come up with some useful information on basics on fundamental Python programming, so that it will be useful for beginner level Python developers or script writers. If you are new to my channel or not yet subscribed, and if you are visiting my channel for the first time, or if you are seeing this video for the first time, I highly suggest and request that you please support me by subscribing to my channel, and please do not forget to press the bell icon so that you will be notified by my future videos. So let's get started with this video. Okay, so I have on the right hand side, I have prepared a very concise notes about the two functions, split and split extension. These two functions are defined inside the module os.path, and the module os.path is basically all the functions defined in this module are very useful if you want to manipulate a given path or file. There are multiple functions which takes a path as argument, and many other functions which takes file as an argument. And the path argument, it could be a string or it could be a byte equivalent of a string. Okay, let me run the Python interpreter. Okay, so for the first function split, it takes an argument path which in most cases will be a string. It will be a path. It could be an absolute path or a relative path. Now from this path, what this function will do is that it will split the path into two parts, and the two parts will be a pair, where the first part of the pair, the first part is known as the head and the second part will be tail. Now what are these head and tail? The tail will be the last component of path without any slash. So if let's discuss the functions and run some code. So I have to import os, I guess os.path. Okay, and now let's say I am can I split? Let's say I do var temp. So I give an absolute path. Let's see what it does. Split is not defined. Okay, I guess I have to do os.path.split. Okay, let's see what it gives. It gives it gives a pair, a tuple. Pair means a tuple with two elements. The first element is the head, and the second element is the tail. In this when I passed var temp / temp, the head is /var and the tail is temp. So you can see the tail is the last component of the string, but it does not contain any slash. So you can consider it will look for the last slash, and whatever there is after the last slash in the path, that will be the tail. And the head will be everything else in the path that is leading up to this tail. So the tail is temp, so the head will be from the beginning to the last slash. Let's try some few more examples. Now if you pass an empty string, definitely the head and tail will be empty. Now if you pass slash, so the slash itself is the last slash, and there is nothing after that. There is no characters, there is no string after that. So temp will be empty, but a head will be the slash. Okay. Now what if you let's say a temp? So in this case the tail will be the temp and the head will be slash. I hope you got the idea. Now what if the absolute path has a trailing slash, that is the last character, it ends with a slash. Now in this if the path ends with the slash, then it will find no string after the slash. So definitely tail will be empty, and the head will be the path itself. No, sorry, the head will be will not include the trailing slash. So you can see, if the path was slash temp slash, then it will look for the last slash, and after the last slash, if it finds any string, that string up to the end will be the tail. But in this case, slash temp slash, there is nothing after the last slash. So tail will be empty, but head will be ignoring the last slash. As you can see in the first example, slash var slash temp. Here the last slash was this slash, and after the last slash it found tmp, temp. So tail was temp, and the head was everything from the beginning until the up to the last slash, but ignoring the last slash. So head was slash var. Now as you can see, let's say if you have like foo bar example whatever, and let's say we have something called readme readme.txt. So in this case readme, the spelling is wrong. Okay, so as you can see, this is the last slash, and after the last slash we can see the after the last slash it will find the string readme.txt. So that will be the tail, and from the beginning, and now it will ignore the last slash. It will ignore the last slash and last slash until the end, and whatever is remaining will be the head. So head will be this. So if I run this, if I execute this function, it gives slash foo slash bar slash example. As you can see, the head does not have the trailing slash. But when I am doing this, you might be wondering in this case also, why if I do this, what it returns? It is returning the head is slash. So why is it considering the slash? I don't know. As you can see, after the last slash there is no string, so tail is empty, that is fine. But the head, you can see it has the slash. Now what about some relative, let's say what about relative path? Let's say I have this some parent directory, I have this. What it returns? It returns, of course, the tail will be program.c, and the head is the dot slash parent. The head does not contain the last slash. Only when the path is a slash, then you can see that the head is containing the slash and the tail is of course empty. What else? Now what if you pass some malformed path name, like if I do this, what will it return? Of course the tail will be tail will be empty string, what will be head? Will it be slash slash or slash slash slash? I don't know. So it is returning slash slash slash, and the tail is empty. What about this? Double slash, tail will be empty, of course. What about the head? Head will be, I guess, slash slash. Okay. But when I do something like this, let's say var and slash slash, even though this is an invalid path name, let's see what it returns. Tail will of course be empty, but will the head be slash var slash var or slash var slash? It is slash var. Okay. Okay. So now why it is returning in this case slash var, even though these are malformed inputs, you will never use this kind of malformed inputs as path in your program. Let's not bother about those things. So basically you can, so what is the functionality, how can this function be useful in writing your script or program regarding a path name? So you have a path name, if you want to know whether the file name, whether the path is the name of the file, if it's a file, the name of the file or the name of the directory. Let's say if I have home, Kaustav is my username, and I have let's say I have inside a temp directory. Now given a path, I want to know what is the directory, what is the directory it is referring to. So if I call split, then the tail can give me the directory, and I know and also the head will give me the parent directory. So using split, if the path name is a directory, you can easily get the directory that the path name is pointing to and the parent directory. This could be useful. In this way you can use to get the parent directory and the directory, and if the path is pointing to a file, let's say log.txt, then also you will get the parent directory of the file and the file name. So this is this way you can use this function. Okay, now let's discuss what is the next function, that is split extension. So basically it also takes a path as an argument, which will be a string or a byte equivalent of a string. It will split the path based on the extension. Now file extension, or normally usually we know that file extension are specified with a period. So if I let me see, can see the terminal properly. Okay, if I, let's say if I now execute, let's see how split extension work. Let's say let's do some var, let's say it doesn't matter the path whether it exists or not. Let's say I have foo bar log.txt. Now it will, what it does is it will split the path. It will also create a pair, that is the first pair is root and the second pair is extension. The extension part will contain the extension of the, if it contains, if the path at all contains an extension, that is the last component of the path. If it's a file name, then it will, and if it contains an extension, then it will return the ending, the extension, the trailing extension. Meaning for this case, as you can see, the last component is log.txt, and it has a single extension, that is a single period. So this will return that as extension ext. Let's see what it returns. So it returns the pair. The first element of the pair is the path up to the point without the extension. And what is extension? The second element of the pair that is returned, it is the extension including the period. Now this is the trailing extension. This is the ending extension. By that I mean, if the file name, the last component, the file name has multiple periods, let's say I have log.c.txt, then the extension that will be returned is .txt, not .c.txt. It will return .txt, and if you leave the extension, whatever is remaining in the path, that will be the root. So you can see the root is /foo/bar/log.c, and the extension is .txt. So if you have, if the last component, if it's a file name, now if this split extension will make no sense if you are passing a directory as a path name. Like if I do this, it will make no sense. It will find no extension. Definitely the second element of the returned pair will be empty, and the root will be the entire path. So in all these cases, the extension will always be obviously be empty. It will only work if the path is actually referring to a file name, and if that file name has some extension. Okay, so let's say I have foo bar and foo bar dot. As you can see, if there are multiple periods, multiple extension in the file name, let's say foo bar log dot backup, and let's say dot temp, whatever, then this will return as extension the .tmp, because that is the ending extension .tmp, and whatever is remaining from the beginning in the path, whatever is remaining up to the .tmp, that will be returned as the root or the first element of the returned pair. By pair I means two element tuple. So as you can see, the root, the first element is /foo/bar.log.backup, and the extension is the ending extension, that is .tmp, and the root will be, first element will be whatever remaining. So basically the pair it is returning, if you see the notes, the root and extension, it will if you do root plus extension, it will be equal to path. So basically in this case root plus path will be equal to root plus extension. Always path will be equal to root and extension. Now one final case is that if the last file name starts with a period, that is the last component, that is a file name, if it's a file name and it has an extension, and if that file name starts with a leading extension, in this case it is .tmp, then the extension will be empty. And the entire path will be returned as the first element. So if you have, let's say another, so I'm making some random file name. So if you have this, then also I guess it will return extension as empty. No extension will be returned, since the last component of the file name is starting with a period, and this entire path will be returned as the first element. Oh no, sorry. So okay, so in this case it is returning .log, the last extension .log as the extension, and whatever is remaining, it is returning as the root. But if the last component, that is a file name, contains only a single dot, only a single period, and the last component is starting with a period, that is it has a leading period, in this case .log, it is starting with a, then the extension will be empty. And if but if the file name starts with a with log, but it also has another periods, not consecutive with the leading period, but after some string like log dot, let's say log dot cpp, whatever, then in this case it is returning the extension as the last extension. The last extension is .cpp, and whatever is remaining it is returning as the root or the first element of the returned pair. Now see, if I do, even though it makes no sense, if I do this .cpp, it has a leading period, the last component, that is .cpp. It has a leading period, but it also has multiple period, but the periods are consecutive. The periods are consecutive. In this case, what will it return? So it is not returning an extension. It is not returning an extension. The whole path is returning as the root. Okay, so this is one thing that you must keep in mind, that if the last component, the file name, now normally, usually in Unix or maybe in Windows, if anything, any file name or directory start, if a file name starts with the dot, it could possibly mean a hidden directory. It usually means a directory. So if it's a directory, then obviously it will not have an extension. So that is why it is returning an empty extension, and it is returning the last component as part of the root, that is the first element of the returned pair. Now see, what if I have this. I have the last component starts with a period, and also it has a period between which there are some string. There is a string, that is CPP. What will it return? Will this return as extension dot backup? Let me see. Okay, so it is returning dot backup as the string, as the extension, and everything else as the root. Okay, so only for this kind of situation, if you have the last component like this, the last component of the file name or whatever, the last component is it is beginning with a period, and there are no other periods. Then the extension will be empty. The extension will be empty. Okay, and so these two cases. So especially you should remember the two cases, this one, and if you have multiple periods, let's say backup.txt, then in this case it will return the last extension as the extension, that is the second element of the returned pair, which the last extension in this example is .txt, and everything else in the path will be returned as the first element of the pair. By pair I mean the tuple it is returning. Now how can this function be useful, split extension? So definitely the main purpose is to know the extension of the file name. If you have a file name, if you want to know what is this extension, you can use this, and it will definitely return the extension, that is. But if the file name has multiple extensions, it will only return the last extension. So a good use case of using this split extension along with the split function is that, suppose you have a file name, and that file name has an extension. Let's say I have a file name. Let's say not here. I'm writing here on the notes. Can you see the notes? Okay. So let's say I have a path. Let's say /home/Kaustav, and let's say I have a development folder, and then inside the development folder I am accessing a file name. Let's say server.py. So let's say this is the path I will provide. From this path, I have a file name. I have a path to a file name, and I want to know its extension, as well as I want to know the name of the file without the extension. So if this is the path, from this path, I want to know that I want to get the extension that is .py as well as server, that is the name of the file without the extension. So I can do this by using the function split extension as well as the split, because with split extension, if I pass this /home /costov /development /server.py, what will it return? It will return, split extension will return a tuple where the first it will return the extension, that is the second element of the tuple as .py, and everything else it will return as the first element. But I need server. Now, by first calling split extension on the path, I got the extension, and from the root, let's say I did this root extension equals to, let's say I am calling this function. I'm calling this function, so I'm saving the root an extension in a pair. So I have this. So I know that root is this and extension is this. I know I got the extension .py, but I want to know what is the name of the file without the extension. I want to know server part. Now in the root, I know it has the server part, but it has the full path. I mean, from the beginning up to the server. So from the root, I can easily now if I call the split split on the root, if I call split on the root, then I will get the server, and the last component of the root is server, and everything else is development. So using from a file name, from a given file name, using the split extension and split function, I got three information. I got the extension of the file name, that is .py. I got the name of the file, that is server without the extension, and I also got the root folder, the folder inside which the server.py is residing, that is /home /costov.development. So this is how you can use these two functions. This was a very one use case of using these two functions. As per your requirement, you can use these two functions to accomplish any other functionality. So this was about the two functions, split and split extension, that manipulates a given path. That is, it splits the path by the split function splits the path by the last component, and it returns a pair, head and tail, where tail is the last component and head is everything else in path leading up to the tail. And the split extension path, it extracts two information. It also returns a pair where the second element of the pair is the extension part, that is the having the period, leading period, and everything else in the path it returns as the first element of the return pair, that is the root. I hope this video was useful in understanding how about the split and split extension method that you can use on a path. If this video was useful and beneficial, then please like it and share it with your friends, and once again please support me by subscribing to my channel, and do not forget to press the bell icon so that you will be notified by my future videos. I keep on posting these kind of videos on regular basis. I try to come up with some useful information on fundamentals of Python across various aspects of Python programming. As of now, I am focusing on the module os.path, because I think as a script writer, Python script writer, or if you are system admin, I think these the functions defined in the os.path, that is common pathname manipulations, these are widely used or will be very useful. So you must be very much familiar with all the functions defined in this module. So thanks for watching, and until the next video, take care and bye.